With you, Adrian Moore is the vice president. Dr. Adrian Moore is the vice president of policy for the Reason Foundation, Reason.org, the libertarian think tank institute, and publication, as it were. Do I have all that right, Adrian?
Sounds good, Tom.
Okay, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Down in Florida, they're talking about not just privatizing public things like prisons and whatnot, but doing it in secret. On the other hand, Arizona, just last week or the week before, issued a report finding that when they had privatized part of their prison system, that not only did they not save the money that they expected, but it actually cost them more, that the quality of the services being provided were lower, and that they were stopping the privatization of prisons in Arizona. It just kind of makes sense that a government agency where nobody is trying to skim some money off the top and no stockholders need to be paid and there's no CEO taking $1 million a year salary would be able to run a prison or any other natural monopoly, any other part of the commons more efficiently and cost efficiently than a private corporation. I don't get it why you guys would support the Florida Senate bill allowing secret privatization.
No, we wouldn't.
Okay. Well, okay. But you object to the secret part, not the privatization part.
Right. Privatization is something that should only be done when it does make sense and when it does work, and it takes effort and good judgment and good sense to make it work, just like it does to make any other policy practiced inside or outside of government. And so you've got to do that. You can't just say, well, hey, privatization has worked in some cases, so therefore if we privatize anything, it will always work. That didn't turn out to be the case in Arizona. And Florida has a very interesting, and I think actually most of your listeners would be intrigued by the broad concept they're trying to pursue through this privatization. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they're choosing to do some very strange and unaccountable things in the way they're considering, I should say, some very strange and unaccountable approaches to doing it, which is really unfortunate.
Right, and so while you and I may disagree on exactly what should be privatized or when or what the parameters should be, in fact, I'm sure we do, I'm pleased to hear that we agree that the idea that privatization, if it's going to be done, another great example of privatization that didn't work out all that well was the privatization of the parking meters in Chicago. It's been a disaster. And there's a long list of things that we could point to, but that even whatever it may be, that if it's going to be done by a government agency, if we function in this constitutionally limited representative democratic republic, that it has to be transparent. There has to be a level of transparency. There should be public debate. There should be, witnesses and hearings and whatnot. There should be a serious discussion of the issues, and then there should be a public vote. And what in Florida is considering doing is passing a law that would give, the legislature or just Governor Rick Scott the power to simply privatize something at the snap of a finger, the way that Governor Rick Snyder up in Michigan is doing right now with his czars that he's appointing to take over cities and kicking out the publicly elected mayors and city councils.
It's a little more complicated than that. They're considering giving the legislature the authority to make decisions about what should be privatized, since they're the elected representatives, and they would then direct the government agencies who are charged with those things to figure out how to make that happen, and then do some analysis showing what the effects of that is going to be. And of course, kind of the first thing I think most people think of when they think of that is, well, before the legislature says, yea, verily, we want you to privatize something, shouldn't there be some analysis that shows that there's going to be a good outcome from that, and that you're going to have you're going to achieve some demonstrable goals with some measure of assurance that you're going to achieve those goals, or something like that, and that they seem to be kind of dancing around that.
Yeah. And here's a couple of examples. I mean, Rick Scott Well, actually, the private prisons, I think, is probably the very best example. There's actually a private prison industry in the United States. In fact, a couple of years ago, it was the single fastest growing industry in the United States in terms of building bricks and mortar on the ground in the United States. And they have a huge lobby here in Washington, D.C. They spread around millions of dollars here in D.C. and in state capitals all around the country. And much of what they're lobbying for is not the further privatization of prisons. They're getting that. Much of what they're lobbying for is things like harsher drug sentences. In other words, more customers, more involuntary customers.
You got to get your facts right. That's absolutely just flat not true. The latest analysis I saw of the lobbying spending by the prison industry demonstrated quite clearly that they have spent virtually nothing on lobbying for criminal issues, for tougher sentencing or any of that. They have most of their money has been directed towards lobbying for additional private prisons. And in fact, the Prison Guards Union, the CCPOA, in California alone spent twice as much as the entire prison industry in the United States spent on lobbying in 1 year. It's the prison guards unions, the state prison guards unions, that lobby every year.
Who don't want their jobs privatized.
Tougher sentencing laws.
So why would it? Okay, I'm perfectly willing to stand corrected. If you've examined these and the reports that I've seen have been hysterical or something, I'll have to go back and look at the facts. But let's assume for a moment that what you said is absolutely right and I'm totally wrong, and that the private prison industry has not lobbied for laws that would give them more customers. At what point will they begin doing that? And why would they not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been 20 years since the industry really got started, and they haven't so far. So I would say it's a long ways away. And in fact, this Florida example that you're looking at is kind of an interesting in this context, because the idea there is Florida has had a very steady recidivism rate for decades. The majority of the people released from the prison system go back into the prison system. They've made no progress whatsoever in reducing that. And the concept behind privatizing a block of prisons is to have the contract be, look, you can spend the same amount of money that we're already spending. We're not looking necessarily for cost savings here. What we want is for you to guarantee a reduction in the recidivism rate. So you're going to do programs, training, education, whatever things you want to do. But if you don't deliver those reduced recidivism rates, then we don't pay you the full amount. So it's paying these private, nonprofit, and
no, I get the concept, but the point is, again, why would you want a private for-profit industry to be involved in the criminal justice system? This, I mean, at what point are they going to be looking at you and me and saying, hey, we can make some money here?
Well, but how would that be worse than what we've already got, Tom? We already have the existing.
Well, who is lobbying to keep the drug laws so strong? Who is paying for that?
What's that?
Who is lobbying to keep the drug laws so strong?
I haven't seen a lot.
I mean, is it the tobacco lobby, the alcohol lobby, the what? Who?
Yeah, it's the crazy tough on crime kind of.
So maybe it's the
locking people up.
The lobby of the industry that makes the weapons and the police, use.
No, they're not the ones lobbying for it. Tough on crime is popular with conservatives. You don't need to lobby a lot on it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Adrian Moore, Reason.org, the Reason Foundation, the VP for Policy. Adrian, thanks for being with us today.
Tom.
Interesting conversation.